regular meeting of the Easton, well, it's a special meeting actually of the Easton Housing Authority. Roll call, Commissioner Tebow,
Here.
Commissioner Burrows.
Here.
Commissioner Whitup,
Here.
Commissioner Dennis Sheedy is present, and Commissioner Christian Sheedy is absent tonight. Agenda item number 1, EHA officer position, CPA appointee. Vote.
Who's our current appointee?
That'd be me.
Dennis.
I know that.
Are we doing our board too, Kathy? Is that what officer
That's what
position?
we had tabled at that past meeting, that you wanted to do that, to do our board at the same time after the elections.
And currently, I'm the chair.
Correct.
Who's vice? Christiane or?
I was the vice.
Pam is.
I'm
Pam,
willing to
Dawn's
be the
treasurer.
vice again.
All right.
I want to be secretary.
What are we doing
You
first?
gotta take
Form
out
an
your
election.
nomination papers next time around. We're doing reorganization of this board.
Unless you'd like to table it until June. Totally up to you.
We would probably have a full board then. I wouldn't mind doing the CPA because I'm not
Today?
sure if I expire June 1st.
I think so. The CPA we should probably do today, but the reorg of the board we could table.
That would be okay with the town clerk? The town clerk?
Reorganization of the board, I don't think they'd have a problem with that. I think
Okay.
we do need the CPA though.
Is it June 1st?
Yeah.
I think so.
I would like to make a motion to reappoint Mr.
Could
Dennis.
we just have a motion first to table the realignment of the
Housing Authority?
the board for Easton Housing and then,
Yeah, sure. I'll make a motion to table the reorganization of the board until the June meeting.
I'll second that motion.
motion by Commissioner Tebow, a second by Commissioner Whitup. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous, and now if we could entertain a motion for the CPA appointee.
I would like to make a motion that Mr. Dennis Sheedy be reappointed to the CPA committee. I do that for a couple of reasons. One, Dennis, you've done a fabulous job at representing the town on how to spend that money. It's a fairly complicated program, and there's a lot of uptime that it takes to get to understand the process. And you've also represented the Housing Authority very well, and it has benefited the residents over the years. So if you're willing, I would certainly like to nominate you for that.
I'd like to second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Tebow and a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. Thank you all very much. I appreciate
Thank you.
the vote of confidence and nice words spoken.
Can I have you do the board chair, where you're still the board chair? I just need you to sign that. I will complete the rest of it. $6:30 you expired, Dennis. I'm sorry. I thought it was 6:01.
What are we, still 23. All right, moving on. Agenda item number 2, minutes of the April 11th, 2023 meeting.
I'll make a motion, we accept and place on file the minutes of April.
I'll second that motion with a correction. Can I do it that way? And
Well, why don't you just second it and then
Okay.
during discussion you
Okay.
make the correction.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Burrows and a second by Commissioner Whitup. Any discussion?
Yes. Item number 9, in the middle of the paragraph, the sentence prior says Commissioner Christian Sheedy is up this year. which was 2023. It was Chairperson Dennis Sheedy in 2021. I'm sorry, in 2022, it was Chairperson Dennis Sheedy, and then in 2021, there's information there that was not put in. It was Whittup. So we need to just put, after the in 2021, it was Whittup.
I will make that correction before I submit it to the town.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, to accept the minutes as written with one correction.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain.
So that's 3 and 1 abstention.
And I do want to make it, if we only had 3 here, it's my understanding that I could vote.
You could, yes, you could. All right. Agenda item number 3, the April warrant in the amount of $283,156.47.
I'll make a motion that we accept the April warrant in the amount of $283,156.47.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Whittup, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any discussion?
Yes.
You'll see on the expenses for the regular vendor accounts, that is the new software, that's why it looks different. But we still have paid the landlords out of the old software to keep it consistent, and that will change for the May 1st.
In the Section 8 part, you mean?
Correct.
Any glitches on using the new stuff?
With the HAP, there are a few. So we're gonna be making some corrections. A few landlords that
Good
were
luck.
direct deposit didn't get them, now we're issuing checks. On this, no, because actually, Jen Robelot, who is working with Dan, has been coming out and going over it, because if you notice, she has the splits on a lot of these accounts, and and she was setting up the percentages so it splits correctly for them.
So all state, is that all
That would all go to just state.
667-705?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, and then you'll see down farther, for instance, under Comcast, there's all state, and then part of it's prorated to the housing choice
Housing choice
voucher.
voucher.
So they did the prorations in there. But what we look at, for all intents and purposes, is the total of those bills. They do the split so that they can divide it up correctly in the budgets and the financials.
They, meaning, I didn't
The
hear.
fee accountants.
The fee
I'm sorry,
accountants?
yes,
No,
the
I
fee
didn't hear. I didn't
Yep.
have my ears turned on, I'm sorry. I know, I've learned how to turn them off. I do have a question.
Yes,
On page number 3 of 6 of the Housing Authority expenses.
Yep.
Checks generated. There is a DDC construction and a payment of $46,544.69. Would you refresh my age-old
that is the
memory?
community room up
Okay.
at the Lee Circle. DDC was the contractor.
Okay.
So we can only issue payments for those contracts as the job is progressing. So that was
Right.
one of the payments for that.
And that, is that job, I can't remember if we've finalized that job
We
yet.
will be, the substantial completion document came in, but it came in after this board packet was ready.
No problem.
So it will be in June's.
Okay.
They did an excellent job, if you really want to know.
Yeah, it's
I
nice.
love the floor.
Any other questions or concerns regarding the April warrant? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Excuse me.
That is unanimous. Agenda item number 4, the March 2023 financial statements and quarterly operating statements.
I'll make a motion to accept and place on file the accountant's report.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Burrows, a second by Commissioner Woodhull. Any discussion? Any comments, Kathy?
Are you talking names?
Well, obviously, the truck did put it over, but we had budgeted that. It just took us a little while to get the truck in, so. On the, non-routine.
You talking about the new truck?
Yes.
It didn't get,
This is the year-end statement, so that's why March 31st will be
Of
the
course,
year-end. That's why
yes.
it's in there, yeah, so they,
so you
Yeah.
picked up something that was was an oversight, or?
no, it's an overage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was initially in the budget, not last year, the year before, but it took us that long to locate a truck, so.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I see, so there had to be an adjustment. Okay.
And what did your reserves end up at? I don't know if I saw that here. Do you remember?
I want to say 97.
I mean, you had a very, very small deficit and, I mean, almost insignificant. So-
Usually jumps right out at me. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Yeah, usually it's right at the bottom of the comparative.
I know he went over it with us at, yeah, I know.
But we were at over 100% for a while.
Correct.
And are we under
But I-
100%?
Yes, I think we're at 97.
Okay, good, thank you. That's really all I need to know.
And now I would like to put up in it myself. Usually it's on here.
Is this the new software, Kathy, that's producing?
No, no, this is the regular.
And there's usually a combination right on the back there. And no, it's not there. Oh. We're at 97%, that's wonderful.
Yeah, because we wanted to get below that.
Right.
I have to confess, I was looking for it too, and I couldn't find it. But there was a page that looked like, no, I'm not, I just couldn't find it myself. I don't know
The
why I
airport should
wasn't
be out very
there.
soon. I can let you all know at that point.
Sure, yeah.
Please, yes.
Yep, I certainly will.
But overall, the statement for the public, very well run, very fiscally prudent in very difficult times, and they ended the year in good financial shape.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Sounds good.
Yes.
Okay, agenda item number 5, the year-end lead paint laws compliance.
Let me ask you one question. Are we compliant?
We are compliant.
I'll make a motion that certifies the compliance with the notification procedures for federal and state lead paint laws. And green sheet in every file? Or blue sheet?
Blue.
Blue, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Like this color blue.
Okay.
My only question on this is where minus one board member, is that a problem? For some reason, I seem to think it is.
It was, they allowed it to go through in COVID, because you can still do Zoom meetings. So I know Kim Gomez allowed it to go through with
Okay.
less than 5.
So would that be, okay.
We'll try it, right?
Okay, so I need the board chair and the rest of the members to please sign, but if you want
If
to
we-
wait and go on to the next one, because we have to do the back as well.
We had a motion by Commissioner Tebow, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion on the lead paint compliance?
We just have to check the correct box too, don't we?
Yes.
Which we get to choose.
All right, so we're gonna do them all together, or you want to,
Why don't we do them separate? You already did the motion and the second for the lead paint.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 6, year-end top 5 salaries.
I see these were prepared by a fee accountant, taken off the payroll journals, which have been provided to us in the past. I will make a motion that this be approved.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Tebow, a second by Commissioner Widow. Any discussion regarding the year-end top 5 salaries? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 7, year-end TAR reports. TAR's report. Tenant accounts receivable.
Thank you.
Do you want me to sign this?
Please, thank you.
Kathy, this is something I've never seen come to the board. Is there a reason why you're bringing it now?
This?
No, the town report.
Because they're asking us to certify. Isn't this for the TAS?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. The board has to certify that you are aware of the accounts receivable for the year end. Certify to both that you've seen, yeah, I know.
That's not what it says below.
Did you sign the front page too?
I signed the
Okay,
front
thank
page too,
you.
yeah.
There's 2 sides to that document, please.
That, this really upsets me. This report is a ridiculous report. Means absolutely nothing to the operation of the Housing Authority. And they want us as a board to swear to it under the pains and penalties of perjury.
It is drafted up by the fee accountants to help reassure you. This is what was on our books. I can explain what those,
I believe it's right.
yeah, I mean, and quite honestly, it's very low considering the state of public housing, but I agree.
This is day-to-day operations.
Correct. And as you know, a lot of it is uncollectible or untouchable.
It's on the balance sheet.
Yes.
It's just,
Based on that, do you accept any cash rent payments?
No,
That was my question, thank you. It's not allowed, is it?
That's the only one we use for me, right?
Not from 1, 2.
I mean, does the housing authority?
we don't receive any, there's nobody that pays in cash.
Thank you, thank you very much.
A lot of these are income that was found later on, and they're repayment agreements, so therefore, they're on the books, but we are collecting on some of the debts, and some of them are just people not paying rent.
when do we do write-offs?
October.
So if someone who passed away and owed money is on that,
Yes,
there's a
that will be in
balance
October. Most of this is actually, we only have one out of all of this, $1,200. It's
Yeah.
somebody that passed away, everybody else is, a couple of them are unclaimed and collectible, and one of them is court action.
I will say that this report is new, because this is a report that I always look at and check the percentages to see how we're doing because of my accounting background. And this is much more up to date, everything's so automated now. And the reports that I remember seeing in the past were maybe 1.5 pages, not, how many pages have we got here? 4 sheets, 8 pages. There's 8 pages. I only remember like 1 or 2 pages. So, but I guess they're probably,
This is all,
the ones that are looking at the monies higher up need to see these, what do they call them, algorithms?
I don't know if I know this.
No, that's not what this is. They get all this information through the Housing Authority Financial Information System. This is just another report that is being asked of to take up a little more time.
Part of the PMR, isn't it?
Yep,
Yeah.
it's just to make their job easier. So I understand what you say, Commissioner Whittup, but having my, my
Yeah, I brought a knowledge.
day-to-day, it's information they get on a regular basis that's uploaded on a quarterly basis. And then they say, go and take that, unroll it, roll it up again in a different way, send it to us. The fee accountants aren't happy about it. In fact, I don't know, did Dan ever charge for it? I know the fee accountants are saying, hey, we're thinking of...
I don't think he has charged for that.
We're being asked to do extra stuff here
Yeah.
that they're already inputting. So again, that's, if it was for better business, I would say absolutely. But
Thank
that's
you,
enough.
Tom.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I should have kept my mouth
Glad
shut
my wife
initially.
stayed home today.
Tell Chris I was channeling her.
Isn't it telepathy? Can we get a motion on this?
What do you need, a motion to accept and place on file?
Who did, who made?
Motion to accept and place on file?
Okay, thank you, Dawn, I didn't hear you.
And I'll second it.
We have a motion by Commissioner Burrows and a second by Commissioner Whittle. Any further discussion?
To place the TAR report on file.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, that is unanimous. Agenda item number 8, final approval of the grievance procedure discussed on 3/14/23 meeting. Public comment period ends April 26, 2023. No comments were submitted.
This was prepared by
Minute,
Manette Donovan.
yes. It's very similar to what we had.
I'll make a motion that we approve the updated policy,
Grievance
grievance procedure. I'm
And
sorry.
I will second that motion, standing on CMR 6.0, which was included with the documents. CMR is the Code of Massachusetts Regulations, which means that this document was prepared in accordance with the Code of Massachusetts Regulations, which is a set of laws. It's just it's like toilet paper or music roll, whatever you call it. It's just a different name, but it's the same thing. It's no law. That's so I'm the seconding it.
9, 4, 3, 3, 9, 4, 3, 3.
So we have a motion by Commissioner
Okay.
Tebow, a
We'll get it
second by
tomorrow.
Commissioner
Oh,
Whittle.
I know. Oh, we have to submit.
Any other
Oh,
comments
right.
regarding approval of the grievance procedure?
There's been no changes since the last time we
No,
discussed
nothing.
this.
Correct, nothing.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. Agenda item number 9, fish number 088077, generator change order number 2 in the amount of $8,206.26, and change order number 3 in the amount of $940.94.
I did lump these together due to the fact that when they submitted them, they reversed what the change order, the description of the change order does not match the dollar amount. They inverted them when they submitted them, and did not want to go back into Cap Hub to have to redo it all after it had been submitted. But so you're aware, the descriptions do not match the change orders. They were reversed, that's why I included that email for your reference. And for the record, we're the ones that caught that, not the architects or the contractor.
What did you ask for, something extra?
These were the change orders on that generator that had to be done. One was a storm switch.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't, when they came in, we looked at it and we said, these don't match. this change order for the explanation of what it is should be less than that change order. They just
No,
changed them.
I know that, but
Yeah.
you said that we caused this, so we
No, we caught it.
caught it.
Caught it.
Oh, caught, I
Yeah,
thought
the
you said caused
architect,
it.
or the contractor didn't catch that they didn't match. We
Okay.
did.
So it was the Eastern Housing Authority staff that caught the error,
Correct.
or the fee
Yes.
accountant or whomever?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So do we need to make a motion?
Yes.
Please.
I will make a motion to approve the change in description between, for fiche number 088077, change order number 2, in the amount of $8,206.26, and fiche number 088077, same fiche number, generated change order. Change order number 3 in the amount of $940.94, just to clarify, the description in a particular box was swapped on these two. Is that all right? Is that?
Yeah, thank you. Sounds good.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Widup, a second by Commissioner Tebow. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 10. Fish number 088080, work order scope of service, opera funding? Siding and window replacement, 667-2 approval.
This is in our CIP. I'll be honest, I don't remember them asking us to approve work orders for scopes of work at this point in the procedure, but
What is our CIP? Pardon my ignorance.
capital improvement plan.
Okay.
This was already in the plan to start this.
Oh,
We
our
can't-
CIP. This is-
Yes.
Okay, capital,
Yes.
this is our capital improvement. plan. Yes, it was a number of years ago,
I know.
wasn't it? Was it
There's
more
no-
than 5?
Well, we do it every year, but it's a 5-year plan.
Uh-huh.
I don't see, they asked us to have it approved now.
Where, is it asking on here, or?
And as a sign, no, I have to go into Cap Hub and approve it under the board vote. You know when you go into Cap Hub?
Yeah, no,
And you
I don't.
can- Okay, well, you have to go into Cap Hub
Yeah.
and the date and time of the meeting and that it was approved by the board on that vote, and then I gotta certify it. That you approved the scope of service, to start the scope of service for this work order. This is the first time I've seen
Yeah,
it
it's
to
the
this
first time
degree
I've-
myself.
Yeah,
Just like, for instance, on the change orders, I have to go in and approve the change orders with the board vote in Cap Hub.
the change orders I understand, because you've approved a certain amount, but, okay, it's just more bureaucracy. It's gonna be great if it happens in July. I guess so, we're, how many windows are they putting in, by the way?
Well, it's all these buildings,
All of these buildings?
so they have to do it in phases because there's not enough funding.
Right, right, but that's what I was wondering, it's 500,000.
This is gonna
Estimated.
go in with an alternate to see what we can get.
see
So
how
they
far
don't
we can
really
get,
know
yeah.
until
Till they put the
start.
scope and
Yeah.
put it out to bid,
And see
yeah.
what the bids come in at.
Yep,
And what I was reading, it looks like that 500,000 is only going to cover the first 4 buildings, the way it's going to be spread out and the way
Possibly.
the
It
economy
depends.
seems to be,
You never know, that's why they put in alternates.
I mean, the way, when I was looking at it, I mean, they'll start with buildings 1 through 4, and I think there was a building in the next block of 4, where it had some work that had already been done.
Well,
So
building
they were
one's
gonna-
already been sided, so that can be taken out with
Oh,
the
the whole
windows.
building has been sided?
Correct, it would just be the front vestibules that would need to be done, that were
Right.
not done prior, and that would get windows. So
Yes.
then it might be 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe, depending.
Yes, and that's one of, I'm glad you mentioned the vestibules.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to new windows in the vestibules.
And less windows.
Mm-hmm.
That is ideally the scope right now, not as many windows because it gets so hot in there.
Right, right.
Realistically, when is this gonna start?
Realistically, I can't answer that question.
Huh?
I don't know.
So this is another delay right here, that we have to approve this, that they had to come to this meeting, so I'll tell you, Don,
Has the design been done? The
This is
actual
what they're
design on the
working on
windows?
it, not, they're working on it. This is to do the scope of service. This is just to go out and do the scope.
Right, this is a bill for $52,000, we are approving a $52,000 estimate for the architectural work. Do I understand that
Correct.
correctly?
Yes.
Okay. For the building envelope.
The windows.
of windows and siding. And $52,000 is just the preliminary architecture expense. We discussed this before, I remember when we talked about this before, we were,
This is just the designer.
God help us.
Holy shit.
So if I'm to understand you right, they haven't actually chosen the final window design or anything like that?
No.
It does talk about, when you dig down, Dawn, I saw something about how they're talking about double hung windows for the vestibules.
But they have to do the
reason I
design.
ask is, the residents, they do their air conditioning in the windows, and it's gonna be a totally different unit now than what's existing.
Correct.
So there's a financial consideration there for the residents, and things that should at least be considered when the design's being made.
I believe most of those, the air conditioners that people have, their air conditioners will still work because the double hung windows, they'll fit better. Right now, they have to remove that whole window and put a piece of plywood up. If anything, this is gonna be more conducive to that situation. And I shouldn't think it would be any more of a cost concern for the residents at this point.
Except for the people that have the air, like myself, who have the air conditioner that's not horizontal, it's vertical. It's turned up. That could be a problem. I've already had that in the back of my mind. but
Yeah, I
for
don't
now-
know I don't even know how to address that at this time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so many years down the road, I might not even be here, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
Now, my only concern is that they, consider the residents, when they're doing their design work, sometimes they overlook that.
It's gonna be more of a cost situation when it comes to the windows, what can be afforded and what can't.
Yeah.
Huh.
I agree with you, Dawn. I think that architects often skip the residents. And I think in fact, I just went through this at another housing authority, and I told the architect I wasn't bringing his stuff forward because he didn't consider anything that the residents said. But
Where
we
was
still
that?
have to get going, I would say. I would make a motion to approve work order for project 088080, the ARPA formula funding siding and window replacement.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Tebow, a second by Commissioner Burrows.
May I just ask Tom a question before we vote on it?
Yep.
What you were saying, Tom, I had a little trouble hearing you, and I wanted to ask you, is there anything that can be done or said to the architects to at least give us an option? This is the most cost-effective way based on today's economy versus this is given the consideration of the residents who may be inconvenienced and have to throw out or sell a 1 or 2 year old air conditioner to buy an air conditioner that will fit in the window. I mean, do you understand my question, Tom?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I haven't read the agreement. It was done by DHCD. Absolutely, we've had architects come in and do a resident meeting and say, this is what we're looking at, this is what our restraints are, and answered any questions. Again, I don't know, I didn't see, so this is done under their host doctor documents.
Yes,
I
host
don't know
doctor.
exactly what it
Yeah.
says in there. But yes, the answer is yes, and I think that in any job, they should be looking at that, whether walkways or roofing, where they're gonna put the rubbish bins and, stuff like that, so.
Thank you, Tom.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 11, the Executive Director's Report. Champ's a full-time job though, Kathy, that's the problem, you only got a part-time clerk.
We're hammering away at it. Ideally, we'd like to really get these units leased up. I have somebody helping her with that as a consultant basis, just to get her off the ground. The Champ trainings have just started. She seems to be picking up rather quickly. We have Dawn in the office, obviously, who's been doing it. She's helping out. That being said, we're getting inundated with phone calls because we did so many polls and everybody's calling wanting to know what's going on. So, it's better than no help, and we're moving along, and hopefully by the end of this week, we'll be able to show Chan the way. Still screening the family applicants. We have one ready to go, but just waiting a couple more things.
So you have 25 local preferences out of those polls. Is there any chance you'll get to any of them? Fingers crossed.
There is, yep. Not for the family unit necessarily, possibly. More likely for the elderly units, though.
Cat 35 at least, I know you should say, could be leased this week.
Supposedly.
Okay.
I did, Kathy, I'll let you know I went by the Eisenhower Drive property
Yeah.
last week. Really looked nice.
Yeah, she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
It looks very
It was
nice.
nice to see.
Yes. All our family units, knock on wood, they look great. They really do.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That number at the very bottom, the total number of applicants, is that
That's on our list. That's just our list.
Okay.
Yes.
But that's a Champ number. With the new
Correct.
Champ, when people are desperate, they're gonna just check off any town that's local.
Correct.
I mean, or that's within
But you still have to
X
screen,
miles.
this is where the problem lies. You still have to screen those people even though they have no intention of being here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah, that's one of the bugs in the system of Champ, in my opinion.
So I would entertain, if there's no further questions, a motion to accept and place on file the Executive Director's report for May 2023.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Commissioner Burrows, a second by Commissioner Tebow. Any further discussion regarding the Executive Director's report?
Yes, I put an unhappy face next to the project for this police circle sidewalk. I just want you to know, 2 dots and an unhappy face, because it's getting, it looks like it's being pushed out till next year. But maybe a miracle will
That could be
happen.
based upon funding as well. I mean, everything's based upon funding. I mean, we put these plans together and things change. And they hold the purse strings when it comes to that type of stuff, ultimately.
I will say I went by that last month too, and it's in tough shape. That is-
Mm-hmm. But the wheels are in
And the road's
motion.
no better. It's like Dawn says they're going out on the road, it's like,
Yeah.
it's just as bad.
But he put the wheels in motion, and, you know, kudos to him. We're getting it moving.
On the subject of the funding, I've been getting emails from, I believe it's Mass Narrow, and also Mass Union, and asking me to contact our legislators
Mhm.
to increase the funding for LHAs, local housing authorities. There's 246 or 264? Roughly 240 local housing authorities in Massachusetts. And the budget, we all know when we go into the supermarket that the economy is out of reach lately. And the budget for the funding for local housing authorities has not escalated with the economy. Thank you. So I just wanted to make that comment to the folks.
Any other discussions or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 12, questions and concerns. Open to the public.
Aha!
Okay, you can go first.
No, you go first, you're older than me.
I'm both of you.
Yes.
Did you have a comment to this, sir? Okay. Excuse me, I'm blind, so I have to use this. Benches. They took away some benches around the walks and have, because of the dumpsters, which is, I understand. But elderly people walking around, you'll see them, including myself, stop for a minute. And it would be good to sit down for a minute, and there's not enough benches out there. They took some of them away anyway, I was told. The second thing was work. Oh, the work on the Lee Circle. So it's postponed. Will they have it before the winter?
No, probably not.
Why do we bring things up if they can't do it? Is there
Because you
some
have-
way that we can go by you to Boston and tell them that it's a dangerous situation? Would that be against us or for us if we did that?
You can absolutely contact your legislators and let them know. It's all based upon funding, and that's why it was pushed out.
Well, they keep telling us how much money Massachusetts has, so.
The public housing authorities don't have that money.
Right.
Right, okay. The next thing is, I wanted to compliment Joe, and I forget the other fellow's name.
Devin.
Who? Devin, on the work that they're doing here. With Dan being called away. They're really working hard and you can see it, and I wanted to compliment them on that.
Thank you.
And the thing on the Lee Circle I mentioned, there are people in different groups that I see that are trying to get a 5-member committee to bring up things to the board, because it's kind of foolish for one person. There's not much power in one person talking. But if we get a group of 5 people together that can discuss things going on in the park and bring them before the board, maybe things would work better. So they're trying that anyway. They're trying to get together a group.
Do we have a tenant council here?
We do not.
No,
If you could form an official tenant council, not only do you have a voice, you have to sign off on some things.
That's cool.
sign off on some things like what?
When we're going for grants, whether we have to consult with you officially. So it's a difficult thing to do. The state has put quite a bar for, what I would consider a lay organization. But it is, so if you put it together and organize, that'd be fine.
Okay.
It's called an LTO, Local Tenants Organization.
That's what I was wondering.
So I
why
can look that
can't we
up?
all get together, write down their stuff, and create, then one person bring it to like Kathy's attention or whatever.
Okay.
Well, that's, I guess, no, that's a little bit different than what you, sounds like you have planned. A local tenants organization is something that is formed under guidelines set out by the CMRs and the DHCD and the laws.
Right.
It's an organization that has regulations that must be followed, but they have.
But it's a guideline for how to set up the committee, is that correct?
Yes. Well, I don't know, Kathy.
They are LTO guidelines, and I've distributed those before. I can't remember who got them.
If you could find out and give me a copy, please, and then I
You
can
can
share it.
research them too, but yes, I can pull out that information, but you can also form an informal committee if you'd like.
Right,
less-
but
less
either way,
restrictive.
we want to get a group together. And, time. I apologize for the length of time I'm taking, but I can't see.
Well, if you're going any longer, I'm going home and getting my pillow.
Time for goals, okay. So there's no set time or planning for goals. For instance, that thing on Elise Circle could go on for years. There's no set time to say we have to get it done by such and such a date.
No.
They set a time and it is in motion for planning. That being said, it's not scheduled to do anything until next year, technically, based upon the funding.
If I may, when I met with the gentleman from the state, the one that's actually designing it and put the project together,
Right.
the best case scenario, and that was really a stretch, was that things could move along fast enough that they could take place this coming fall. So it is what we had tonight discussed. It just been, the design is bumped forward to January. So it's not that hard to understand, you know, it's only been a few months, it's bumped up. So, but that was the best case scenario.
Okay,
And they were in total agreement that it desperately needs to be done. You know, it's a top priority for them. It's just a matter of, at that time, he talked about using emergency funding, I believe, or part of that. And so, and like Kathy just explained, you know, there's funding issues, you know, that how are they gonna pay for that and stuff. But right now, it looks as though the design, from what I've read, the design is gonna take place or start in January, and the target date for construction would be May of next year. So it's not that far off. It just,
okay.
it's something difficult for me to understand since I've been on the board. It's like watching molasses come out of a jar.
I know.
And Tom and Dennis alluded to that to me earlier on, you know, you just, I guess they have, you call it patience?
No, it's inefficiency.
So, but that's that on that as far as, so it is, trust me, I'm gonna try to push that along as fast as I can. As far as the LTO, there's plenty of guidance out there. There's people that will come out and help set you up with that and everything else.
Oh, that's good
From the
to know.
state.
Where would I notify them?
Well, you know, I can speak to you later about that.
Okay, thank you.
It's easily found. There's plenty
Okay.
of-
The other thing, notices for this meeting. Now, there's none up. Apparently, there may have been one for Tuesday, but it's on that bulletin board.
Nothing.
100 people that lives in the place don't come to that board.
No, it's actually out here.
Well,
Out
nobody
in the
sees
hall.
it,
There's
is
nothing
what I'm
over
saying.
here. Nothing in
There
And
were
the
one
we-
out there and there were two out front.
And there's nothing in
No, there's only
the other
one up front.
clubhouse.
Nothing at all in Elise.
Yeah, there's
So
nothing on the
I was
front.
wondering if we could put
Truthfully,
it,
I forgot to put one up at Lee Circle because it's been so long since we posted things. That was my error, but they were posted here.
I was wondering if we could put it on the activities calendar that Shikika, I forget her name, I'm sorry. Shanika.
We can do that, however, keep in mind, sometimes, for instance, this board meeting did change.
That's
So,
okay
But it's
then.
always on the town's website, always. I have to post it on the town's website. If you're ever curious, if you go on the Town of Easton website, by law, I have to post it. And it's always posted at the latest, the Friday before the Tuesday meeting.
So it's on their website. What is the website?
Town of Easton, the Town of Easton's website.
Just, what
If you
is
just
that?
Google the Town of Easton, you go right to their website.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
and-
their.
And then you look at the calendar,
Mhm.
when you go on their front page, there's a calendar, so you go over to the calendar
And
and you
it'll
can
be
click
on
on the
there.
days. Typically,
Okay.
our meetings are the second Tuesday
Right.
of the month with July and August off.
That's what I'm saying. It needs to be advertised more. People did, I was here 7 months before I knew you existed. You know, I didn't know you
We
existed.
post them, I post them on the bulletin boards.
I know, but
People
somebody
take
pointed that
things-
out to me, that's how I
People
knew.
take things down constantly off these bulletin boards.
Yeah. But you assume people are gonna go see it. I don't look at that board,
I don't either.
so anyway.
I look in
Um,
the lease now. It's
and-
smaller.
When you set up for a meeting, Kathy, I only ask this because I've been in your position before. You have a list of what you bring before the board.
Mhm.
Now, do you have space to add on anything to that, to take up time?
Absolutely, but you have to come to me prior to the agenda being posted.
At the
Okay.
town's website. You see this, we also, not only do we follow federal laws and regulations, we follow state laws and regulations. We are also governed by the town of Easton as well, to some extent.
As far as
Okay.
posting the meetings.
Because we had a group got together this morning, and one woman suggested that we go to Boston to find out what's going on. We get more information. I don't know if that's true or not, but we
Yeah.
don't seem to be getting much information here.
I wouldn't advise it, I don't think they'll even let you into the State House, truthfully, I don't even think it's open.
No.
Phone
So they are open now?
Yeah.
I don't know, I mean,
Well, I'm
basically
not
your
going
best
to Boston.
recourse is to talk to your local legislators.
Okay.
About specific issues.
I've been doing a little perusing on my phone while we're talking. One of the things it mentions in here with the LTO is they receive funding by DHCD's annual budget guidelines. So would that amount be available to the organization once it's set up?
Yep, but you have to keep books on that, it's also audited, and it has to be
Right.
for supplies, paper, pens, things of that nature, right?
I think right now it's about $400 in our budget, 400 and something in our
I thought
budget.
it was $6 a door.
$6 a door. And what do you have, 197 or a little more?
184,
184 here.
yep, plus,
Yeah.
yeah, 194, yes,
So-
sorry.
What is the total
$1,000.
occupancy here?
Excuse me,
What is the total occupancy here?
How many?
what do you mean?
How
We have
many people
100
live in this community?
How many people?
194 units,
There are 94 units.
194,
Oh, and some are double or single.
and some are family. We have 10 family units.
In here?
No?
No, it's the whole
It's
town
the
of Easton.
whole
Oh, it's
housing
Easton.
authority. The housing authority consists of 184 elderly units and 10 family units. And
So how
104
many are in
Section
this, just this unit?
184.
184 between Parker and Elise.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. You're next.
I'm not
Thank
elderly.
you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I'm not elderly, I'm just older.
Okay.
Okay. I just have, she already mentioned it to you people about the benches on the walkways going to Elise and coming back into Parker. There's nothing there. The tables are in, you know, with the umbrellas, but it's not benches for someone just to say, okay, I need to take, I know myself, I have hard time in the heat walking around, okay? Everyone sees me walking my dog, they have no idea. Just so they can breathe. So I was wondering if there's any way possible you can get 2 benches back, over there.
Put them away. I'm not exactly sure what you're I mean, the
Well, I
dumpster's
know
there.
the green ones were taken away because of the dumpster. Okay, but if you, no one uses them, so if you took those green ones and put it up just before the bend, because no one has nowhere to stop except for the gazebo over there.
Is there a shady spot along those two, one of those 2 sidewalks?
Yes.
Yes.
Where there's a tree where they could put a
Yes.
bench? Because I know
Yes.
there's 2 sidewalks
Right.
to
We'll
Elise.
take a look at that.
One of them
Yeah.
has a bit of an incline that I struggle with, I admit.
Yeah.
I see them now that I'm on the first floor, they come by my place and they stop. I put furniture outside and told them they could stop and sit there anytime they want.
I'm doing pretty well, but I have to stop. Because my arms will hurt, you know, holding the walker or whatever. Whatever the reason, even just to stop for 5 minutes, it's very good feeling, so. Something for you to think about.
Just something maybe you could work out or whatever with Derek, I don't know. My other issue, like last year, the dumpsters, they're smelling, the rubbish.
We are putting crystals in
I know
there,
you
we've
are,
asked
'cause
them, I mean, we do the best we can with that, unfortunately dumpsters are gonna have smell. Personally, I haven't noticed it all that much, and I've gone by them several times, and we have one right out there on a very, very hot day, or when the wind kicks up, you might catch it. But,
The
you know, we
smell.
put the crystals in.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've seen
We've
them.
bought them and put them in, we've asked them to put them in,
they're not putting them in, Dan is.
they have put them in. When
They
we
have?
requested it, we've definitely had them put them in.
Okay. Right now, my windows are open, and I'm like we had the heat last week, I had to close it, because I was sick of smelling trash, you know? And you know, all I get is, you're the only one complaining. No, building 6, where am I? I'm in 4.
Mhm.
5, Kathy, she has to close her front windows, because she can smell all that
No,
trash.
that's not true.
She told me that today.
Well, anyway, if you could think about that, please, that would be a big help.
What are you talking about?
The windows.
Oh.
Thing.
And there's one thing I'm curious about. Do we have anybody here appointed if we don't see a resident for 3 or 4 days that we can go and knock and check on them?
We do well-being checks all the time. If somebody's concerned, you call the office and we go in and do them. We do them often.
And
So the first thing you do is call the office.
And if we have a concern, we'll call the police, but sometimes we know of somebody going away or somebody's out, but still, we wouldn't release that information to you. We would just tell you, because we're not able to discuss that. We'll-
privacy, yeah.
Yep.
They don't have, would it help to have a group of volunteers that just do well checks?
I don't think that's a good idea.
It's not.
Leave it to us. We did them today. We do it all the time. We call the office if you have a real concern. And we do a well-being check.
But I do think, to follow up on that, what Kathy is saying is that being a good neighbor, so let's say you were living out in any neighborhood here and you hadn't seen your neighbor, you would call the police. Police do these all the time. They go and they would knock on the door. They would, you know, be a little more intrusive than you might be checking on someone. So people knowing who their neighbors are, knowing their patterns, and if you see someone outside of that pattern, you know, they're not picking up their mail, they usually go out for a walk in the morning or whatever, and you see that's not happening, please let us know. And we, you know, as Kathy said, they act on it all the time.
I do have to say thank you to Dawn. I already did. 2 days ago, I was passing out my apartment, and my son tried to call me and couldn't get me. He called the office. Kathy sent Derek right over. He knocked on the door, and of course Winston back, and he said, "Kathy, you in there?" And I opened the door. I said, "Yeah, why, you bring me breakfast?" And he laughed, you know. And he said, "You have a son, Scott." Well, first of all, I thought maybe something happened and he was in an accident. He said, "Would you please call him?" And then I come over and thank Dawn for doing that. And she told me my son was very nice and polite. He called her back and thanked her.
Okay, good.
So,
Thanks.
and I thank the both of them. Because what if I did pass out in there? My dog would just bark, you know. But I wanted you to let you know that she did do something. Other than that, I'm not bitching about nothing. You got something?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, you, Rick.
Well, surprisingly, like I guess that I'm cruising through here, turns out that you can get free Bono lawyers to support tenant organizations. So I'm browsing that through, and there's one Attleboro that will do it for free.
For an LTO?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, no, we've worked with many organizations doing this. Works out very well. Again, if I love the organizations. I don't like this. I don't know who you're speaking for. I don't know who you're speaking for. If you have a local tenant organization, there's a process that the people who live here come to regular local tenant organization meetings. They voice their things. You guys don't all agree. Bench should go over here, the bench should go over there, the bench, so I think it's a wonderful thing. It's a little work on your part, and then once it's up at the beginning, it's a little work on our part, but not substantial.
Not all gonna agree either,
Yeah, no,
100%.
exactly.
I go to coffee twice a week here and another meeting on Wednesday. And we play bingo. But every one that I go to, I ask people, if you have something that you want to bring before the board, tell me and I'll bring it for you. So everything that I've asked about, people have asked me to check.
Sure. No, and I wasn't accusing you of anything.
No, I understand.
But a
I
tenant
just-
council or a local tenant organization vets that amongst themselves. They
Right.
talk about it. They went to the board meeting, we said we had $100,000 or something, and we could spend it on this. Well, then you bounce those ideas around and you talk about it. And then, you'll come up with $400,000 worth of ideas, I guarantee it. But then, you guys work on prioritizing it and we'll go from there.
Do
Dennis and I did this morning with a group of about 25 residents, 25, 30
25
residents.
residents out of your, how many in Brockton?
Well, these were all the tenant presidents.
Oh,
I was going to ask Kathy too, if you have that list, like I said, and you get something that comes up, do you have funds to take care of something that's an emergency that comes up afterwards, or do you have to put it off for a year?
I'm
I don't
not
follow
sure,
you.
I'm not
You
following.
have a list of things that have to be done.
It's a capital improvement plan that the board votes on and approves.
Everything that you do, you make a list to present it to the board, correct?
Not everything we do, no. Are you talking about capital improvements?
Anything that might cost you money.
Not everything, no.
it's not as cut and dried as that, Barbara, unfortunately.
If
When-
you don't have, like if, say somebody came together, they were having a real problem with something and they couldn't wait for the board to check it or whatever.
They call the office. Anytime you have questions, concerns, suggestions,
And
you
then
can
you
always
bring that
come to the
here.
housing authority offices first, call me. You don't have to wait for a board meeting.
Okay, and then you bring it if it's important enough.
Yes, there are certain things that have to go before the board and certain things that don't have to go before the board that are day-to-day operations.
Okay. I'm glad you explained things to me because I'm new here basically. I've only been here a year or so. So it's good to know. It's good for other people that have been here a while that don't know what's going on either. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have one last question.
Yes, sir.
If this is, local tenant organization is formed, and we have to produce copies, etc., if I would on it, or working on it, and get on the internet and got what I needed and printed off on my printer, could we get extra copies printed in the office, or would we have to do that ourselves?
So
That's a good question.
there's two ways you can do it. If you have your funding, you can buy a printing, right, a printer.
Well, I have a printer, etc.
But you could buy a printer that was just for the tenants association, but to be quite honest with you, most of the time the housing authority, I don't know what your copy of capacity is. If the copy of capacity, we usually have better, put in, you need 50 copies, it's a button, and 2 minutes later it's done.
Yeah.
And then we get to see what you're saying.
It's usually not a big problem, though. What you're saying, making the copies, well,
Well, you do have to, it's a tenants organization.
Yep.
And you do have to, operate under guidelines
Right,
of tenant
I found that.
organizations. You have to have someone that's a secretary that takes the minutes and types them
it's
up.
an elected board, you have to have the minutes, you have to have meetings,
Well, Mass.gov has a guideline that you can print off and follow that, and I think that would be the good choice to start with.
I think Melking Institute does too, don't they?
What's that?
Melking Institute, don't
Absolutely.
they offer guidance on
As a
that?
matter of fact, I got an email today from the Melking, Sarah Burns. They are running a seminar right now, I think May 25th, a webinar on how to take care of yourself as a senior while being a volunteer in your LTO, because it can be demanding. They're running a seminar on that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like today in our coffee hour. People were making comments and people was, bitching about this or that. And Barbara and I both said, well, come to a meeting. Don't sit and tell, we can't do nothing. So we have our 2 cents too. Come to a meeting and let them know.
I threw mine under the chair.
I saw that.
Any other questions or concerns, folks?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We can set the next meeting first.
We don't have to do that, we can do that afterwards.
We all set, ladies? Any questions?
No, I'm all set now.
Everybody's good?
Yeah.
Alrighty, next meeting, we're looking at June 13th.
Okay.
Fine with me.
Isn't that Flag Day?
Nope, that's 14th.
Okay, I'm off a day.
Thank you for
That work
listening.
for everybody?
Yep.
Kathy, if you could, on the agenda for that meeting, summer schedule,
Yes.
board
of course.
meeting schedule.
Because you're closed like July and August, there's no meeting, right?
We don't have our regularly scheduled meeting, however, if there was something that was important that needed to be
Emergency.
addressed came up,
Yeah,
we would hold a special
And
meeting.
you post that.
Yes.
yes.
Everything has to be posted at least
Right.
48 hours in
But
advance.
because this
48
agenda,
business hours.
Thank you for
Excluding
listening,
Saturday, Sunday,
everybody.
and holidays.
Thank you for listening.
Thank
Yeah,
you for
thank
coming
you.
and sharing.
Yep, made a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Tebow, second by Commissioner Burrows. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will-